So what we are gathered here to talk about is inescapably just what's appearing to happen. That is to say, the ordinariness of sitting on a chair, breathing, feelings, sensations in the body, whatever is imagined, whatever is thought about is this. And the suggestion being made here is that life is just happening, that there isn't you and life, that it's just happening, and there isn't a thing apart called life. What's worse is that there really is nothing on offer here. There's nothing to gain here. There's no knowledge or piece of information that's useful. There's nothing to be made out of what's being described here. Really, there's just nothing for sale. And it's a sharing about the phenomenality and total wonder of just this. And but it seems like what is can appear like this is noble, that life is noble, and what is appears like it can be got through. What is appears like this is life, it's my life, and I know how to get through it. And I'm doing the best I can and proceeding on a linear path from A to B to get to a place which is something resembling fulfillment or peace or bliss or wisdom or wealth or whatever is that imagined place. That's what I'm getting to. Essentially, it's anything but this, anything but what's appearing to happen, because it simply cannot be this. It can't be ordinary breathing. It can't be these thoughts. It can't be thinking. It can't be this. It just can't be. And wherever you go in life, it appears like that that desire, that yearning is fed in some way, shape, or form. That search for knowledge is fed, because the currency of what's happening is knowledge. The currency of the world, apparently, is knowledge, of knowing, of upper and lower, of inner and outer, of things, of havings and of acquirings, and nothing on offer is oddly perplexing. And really nothing on offer is utterly is repellent and attractive, apparently, at the same time, because there's a sort of simplicity to what's being sought. It's not really wealth. It's not really money and wisdom and peace. It's not really all those things, peace and bliss and the peace that passes understanding or whatever. It really, it's just sitting on a fucking chair. That's what's sought. But sitting on the chair can appear like that there's something wrong. This now can appear like there's something wrong. And that perhaps here in this meeting, the voice that's talking has something that can make this yearning better, that is an antidote. And so seeking takes a gazillion forms, and let's cut to the chase that there's somehow a stumbling upon a sort of a communication like this, that when it's truly as it is, when it's truly just nothing, when it's just uncompromisingly water, fresh and free, it's a jar. It's a jarring and attractive. It seems to be that. And for the few unfortunate, it seems like this sort of communication simply cannot be let go of. And because, who knows why, but it seems to be, it can't be let go of. And yet all the while, this communication is saying that there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just this inescapable intimacy that's too full for the orchestrator, too full already for you. So then what's left when all the grappling and fighting and seeking and yearning and images are sought after, when they all collapse, what's left? Well, whatever appears to be happening, the sound of a voice, breathing, feelings, sensations, thoughts, just this. However this is, though, nothing is denied. It's pretty big and pretty small. It's everything and nothing. Or it's however it appears to be being. So these sorts of gatherings and sharings are a sort of a, I like to describe them maybe as an interlude lately. An interlude in the movie, a little break for a chat. So let's just see what happens. If there are questions that are there to be asked, then they're simply there to be asked. Let's see how they are asked. If there's comments to be made, let's see what they will be. And let's have a go. Let's delve on in and see what happens. All right. And if you haven't by chance been here, just click unmute and go for it, or write a comment, and I'll get to that when I get to that in the chat function.
Hi, Frank.
Hiya.
Everybody else. This way of being reminds me a small bit of doing a course in miracles at the moment.
Mm.
And, you know, it says that we're all one. There's only one energy driving everybody. We're all connected, and we think we have control over our lives, but we really haven't. It's our ego that runs our lives, and you know, it's asking really for us to let go of our ego and let God, our energy, our spirit, our love, or whatever take over. So does that tie in? I think that ties in a bit with what you're talking about, does it?
It's just a subtle difference in that there isn't anyone in there that can let go of anything. So this is essentially that sort of thing about letting go is like almost trying to lift yourself up off the ground with your hands. It's almost trying to tasting with your tongue. It's almost trying to catching, or it's a sort of subtle suggestion that it's just over the hill, where it's inescapably, unfathomably, beyond all explanations, simply just the hearing of a voice, the fullness of that, not what's being described. It's not there's no point to these sentences. It's the point are the sentences. It's sort of this is just how this expression appears, let's just say. But it's so intimately already the case, so unfathomably already the case, that all those wonderings, A Course in Miracles, it's all beautiful. It's all lovely, and it keeps, it gives us all something to do. There's, you know, it's wonderful. They're wonderful. It's like a good old job, and we all love them. You know what I mean? And yet all the while, this what is cradles as every yearning, as every cell, as every breath, as every feeling, as every frustration. It's everything, but you can't have it. You can't have it. It'd be very heavy, though. It'd be very heavy, everything.
It's what you're saying, Frank, I suppose really is that it is more immediate. Everything is more immediate. Everything is just as it is. I'm talking now, and that's all that's happening, you know, and everything is just, I'm sitting on a chair and looking at a screen, and that's all that's there really.
Talking is appearing to happen, or hearing of a voice, let's
I
just
know,
say.
it's
And
only,
that's the naming of this. And it sort of makes the unfathomable almost noble. And yet it dissolves, the words dissolve, words are meaningless. It's so sort of full as this, that the attempt to sort of verbalize it, it's as the verbing, it's as talking. And so it's wonderfully free and already over. So whatever is said, whatever is thought, it's just that you're not doing anything. There's no one driving the dream bus, baby. So then it can be total relaxation, it can be total stress, frustration, however it is this just how it appears to be? So wonderfully, stunningly, horribly simple.
I rest my case, right?
Oh, Dan, you're going away. I was just about to say something to you. You came back. The message certainly seems to be the destruction of the ego, Dan.
Are you saying that for yourself, or Freddie? Is that?
Well, I'm sharing it with Dan because he spoke about the Course in Miracles and the what the Course in Miracles says about the ego. So I just thought I'd say, well, this message certainly seems to be the destruction of the ego, because what you're saying is there's no one in there to
you know, there's no ego.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Mind you, a lot of people do think that they have egos.
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly, yeah.
And I think I'm one of them. Well, it's pretty difficult to be egoless in this relative reality that we live in. And this is why I find it a bit difficult to accept your message, Frank, that there's no one in there. Because if there really was no one in there, in your case, you wouldn't be able to make any plans for the future. You wouldn't be able to write your book and promote it. I suppose you'd just say that everything just happens.
But I would, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, planning appears to happen. Planning appears to happen. Breathing appears to happen. The thoughts appear to happen. Choices appear to be being made. The clouds appear to cloud. The trees appear to tree. The wind appears to blow the grass. The muck appears like muck. A voice sounds like a voice. Sounds appear. The birds seem to move. Thoughts seem to be, and human seems to be doing everything. That just seems to be how it is. That seems to be how it is, though. It seems to be, the movement seems to be, I'm here, I'm doing the thinking, I'm making the choices, I'm sounding the voice, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm saying, and that seems to be how it is, or that seems to be what's described and felt, let's just say. And all that's been suggested is that that's just what's appearing to happen. That's all. So in a way, it's not that this message can be accepted. It's impossible for it to be accepted. It's absolutely and utterly impossible. Who could accept this? This isn't, it's not like everything else about knowing and understanding, and we could work it out then. We could all work it out, and we could say, you know, what 50 plus 50 is 100. Have we got it? Okay, let's go home. Because everything is like that. As I said at the very start, knowing is the currency of the world. So this isn't about accepting. All that's being suggested is that there's just uniquely, incomparably, just what's appearing to happen. So if what's being felt there is that there's an ego and that you have an ego and okay, that's how it is then. That's what's appearing to happen then.
Without any ownership.
Without,
you don't seem to want to have any ownership of anything for anybody.
yeah, you see,
There's
that's how that's how it is. If there's someone in there orchestrating the whole thing, then they can only hear this is someone who should own what they're saying and should be responsible or whatever. And all that's been said here is that there's just what is. Woo. And then with that, there's every reaction. But this, but that. No, hold on a second now, but there is this. Okay. If that's what's been said there, all that's been suggested here is so wonderfully, stunningly, horribly, though simple, that there's just what is. Okay. I don't know what is.
Yeah, but you're saying there's no one in there.
I'm suggesting that there's just what is, however that is, that life is just happening. That's the suggestion. And but so if you're saying there is someone in here, Frank, I have an ego, I know blah blah blah. Okay, that's what you're. So hold a meeting about that. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm trying to convince you of anything. I don't know anything. In fact, it's total and utter poverty. It's total and utter poverty. Just that's how it is, because nothing really has been said. There's no wisdom, no peace offered, nothing being prescribed, suggested, anything at all. It's just so, it's saying that already there's just what is. It's already whole and complete, exactly as it is. Now that's a suggestion. If it's felt, then it's not whole and complete. It's bullshit, Frank. Okay, then. That's how it is. Right.
Yeah, but it's perfectly understandable, Frank.
Okay.
But the question is whether it's absolutely the case that when you say that there's no one in there, that is what's questionable. You know, everything else is fine. It's absolutely obvious that everything is as it is.
Is it right? Okay. It's not obvious. It's not obvious for me now. It's not obvious that anything is anything at all. That in essence, really, everything is a total mystery. This appearing now, talking, is a total unfathomable mystery and is just happening. That's what's been offered. That's what's been suggested here. Now, it's not only impossible, this suggestion. It's not only it's impossible to accept, it's just, it's undigestible. And yet somehow can't be let go of either. Because if it was, it'd be okay. I need to get on now. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something that's useful. It can't be let go of though. And yeah, that's how it seems to be. It's impossible. And yet all that's really, really being talked about is that the mystery is this. That's what's been offered as a suggestion. Now, the mystery appears like it feels like it's not a mystery, that it feels constrained, it feels awful, it feels like it should be knowable. And there can be that caughtness as that. Caughtness that this should be digestible, understandable. Okay, then. But what's been suggested, unfortunately, is this is beyond knowing. It's trying to grasp this is just how it appears to be then. That's what's been suggested. It's impossible though to get this. Because if it was, it'd be overlapping. It's not about sentences then. It's just this aliveness. This is just appearing to happen, this meeting. This, whatever you want to call it. It's just, we're calling it a meeting. There's a computer, there's a voice talking. He's talking about non-duality. That binds it, makes it noble, makes it real. Sitting on a chair, talking, everything. It's all noble then. I get it. Yeah, okay. And
yeah, but
it's not noble though.
listen, the strange anomaly is that the meeting appears to be happening, but there's no one here.
But yeah, loads of bodies talking and sounds and fury. I fucking wonder, like, I wonder. Heart thumpingly edge of this, edge of edgelessness, this. Imagine the heart pumps on its own without me. The hairs grow, the eyes move, the mouth smiles, and those thoughts appear to thunk all day. And this grappling is just how it is. So that's how it is. It's not like it can be helped or fixed. I don't know.
So would you say nothing can be understood? Things do appear to be able to be understood.
I would have said, I said at the very start that the currency of the world is knowing and understanding, learning and getting somewhere on a linear path from A to B to get to a place where finally I've got this, right? That's the currency and the normal. The alternative suggestion being offered here is that there's just this full to the brim izziness, and without all the stories, it's unfathomably, just inescapably a mystery, where mystery is a mystery. That's just the suggestion. But it can appear like I know it, I get it, but also this is a sort of this isn't complicated. It's not far away. It's not over the field. It's just lost in all these images of this, of what it should be, all the learned and held ideas of liberation, enlightenment, wisdom, peace beyond understanding, or whatever sought after. That's how it appears to be. It keeps on reaching. Can't be this, just can't be this. And that's what's been suggested, is that that's just what's happening. Or at least that's perhaps what's felt and described.
Again, Frank, I can understand what you're saying there about we're being breathed and we're being, a life lives through us. Like when we go to bed at night, like we sleep and the heart pumps and the breath works, unconsciously or automatically. So I can understand all that, like that everything, there's an energy outside of me driving me. And then the other thing I want to say is that everything is an illusion, that I'm creating my world. When I look at you and look at the room and I'm actually creating my reality by my conditioning.
Okay.
And it's all illusion as well. What I'm creating is illusion because I'm conditioned from my childhood. And yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, if that's what's being described there, though, about conditioning and childhood and illusion, okay, that's what's being described there. The response or suggestion is that there's just inescapably the sound of a voice, and what you can't understand or what can't be caught or held is just this voice talking, that seeking, that trying to kind of put this down into a box and say what it is, that it's illusory or whatever. You can't get to there. So that's where you can't lift yourself up off the ground with both your feet. You can't tasting. You can't breathe more into breathing. That is to say, it's this, like, it's this. This is the mystery. And I have no idea what this is. It's just but it seems like that when there's a held position, seems like when there's a held position, then there's has to be a held position elsewhere. And so then that this voice knows something, has something. That's when positions are held. So I've no idea about illusory or anything at all. It's this, what the fuck, this. So, and words don't matter then when it is a sort of the impassable chasm. It is the gateless gate, because what is looked for is already the case. Just this sitting, breathing, talking, feelings, and whatever is. Not all those lovely stories about becoming and arriving and all that. That kind of then binds this again into a noble happening. There's nothing apart.
Are you saying that all we have is the present moment, really? All we have.
I didn't say that. Where's the present moment? And who could have it? Who could have it? Good luck with trying to hold on to the present moment. Who's going to hold on to the present moment? Where is the present moment? Where is the moment? This is timeless. Or the absence of time. This is the eternal. Don't tell me it's not this. Can't be this now. Yeah. Has to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know.
This is eternity. This is the eternal moment.
This is the end of the universe. And this.
At the beginning.
Except there's no beginning and no fucking end.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Did you ever try lifting yourself up by your feet, Frank?
Well, now,
I've tried it.
That's one thing I didn't try.
I've tried it.
All right. Good man. Fair play to you.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Doesn't work.
Would you say, Frank, what you're talking about is beyond thought and beyond the ego, and it's beyond, you know, it's beyond what we understand everything to be?
So we're just talking about inescapably, intimately, the phenomenality, the incomparableness of just hearing. This. Talking about this now. Here. Not further. Just this fucking voice talking here and that listening. And then whatever is thought and felt on the is what is. Is this just happening, flowering, lifing, happening, isness, this. So it's just nothing to do with a few fucking words. This is the wordless, the nameless, the end of the universe, and then just sitting on a chair and breathing. It's this, like. Holding a hand up against an apparent face, smiling, thoughts, saying yes, hearing, and unfolding, a happening that won't be held onto, that's dissolving, collapsing and rebooting in every breath.
Yeah.
So it is as appears as thoughts, wonderful, beautiful thoughts. It appears as breathing. It appears as screaming. It appears as singing, playing the guitar, drinking a barrel of whiskey, if you could, or just whatever is. Everything is pretty big. The boundless, the all. And it includes apparently feeling apart. But there isn't anyone that can feel part or apart. There's just feeling apart. There's just the sound of a voice. It's not what's been said. It's not. If it could be bound by a few sentences, then we'd be back in the game of knowing. And as I said at the very start, this is not about knowing or understanding or getting, which is the normal currency of the world. That it's just oh, Jesus. Just a laugh and then drinking water, apparently.
It's very radical, though, Frank.
Yeah, it's like it's stunningly just saying that there's just this, like, so I suppose it is radical. It's radical when really nothing is being offered. It's radical when it's just free to be exactly how it appears to be being. It's a sort of I like the word interlude. It's as good as any. These sorts of gatherings are like an interlude, but this is no one's. You see, there's really, if it's impossible when it seems like it's impossible when there's somebody in there that can only hear somebody who knows something and who has something. That's really seems to be how it is. And yet all the while, like, all that's being suggested is this sort of innocence, this childlike innocence, which it's just what is that? It's just this. And where does it begin and end, like, then? But that's all. It's horribly simple. Horribly simple, because sometimes it can feel like I must be missing something. I'm missing something. It can't be. I'm missing something. I'm not doing it right. I'm not getting it. And this seems to just return to then, well, that's how it appears to be. That's how it's as that then is unfolding. And whatever is described and felt is what is. So really I don't know, it's a kind of wonderful, and yet obviously can be torturous. But yeah, all the while though, it's just as this talking, as that question, as saying it's radical. It's as that.
Yeah, the reason I said it was radical was because if I say that this meeting is like a microscopic version of a larger society, just a gathering of people. In society generally, we don't say that things just happen without anybody doing them. But as a result of listening to the message, I thought, well, perhaps this could be applied outside.
That's where it's totally, it's impossible, because there can be a view, oh, somebody commits a crime, nobody's doing it, but also nobody is bringing down ferocious wrath and judgment and justice, let's just say. So it's a dream that tries to tries to make this understandable and knowable. So it's like this then, and it takes on what's been said here really as a way to figure out life, and it obviously can't fit with what's been suggested can't fit into the life thing.
I wondered if you could for a moment. For a moment, I wondered if you could approach life in that way.
Who's going to approach that though? We're back in the game of licking the world through a pane glass window of concepts, of knowing, of understanding.
So you're not recommending this message for life generally, then, Frank? It's just an idea that you're sharing.
You see, in a way, it's just a suggestion appearing to happen, like fucking everything. And it seems like this sort of communication exposes that happening, but it's like the trees are flowing, the grass is growing, and this is appearing to happen, this meeting. It's actually not even a fucking meeting. It's purposeless, and it's just appearing to happen. Just like going have a cup of tea afterwards, going, that was wonderful. Frank's a dickhead, but this is wonderful, or whatever. What I'm saying is, life is just happening.
Yeah,
just happening. That's all.
You could apply it to everything then, because everything.
Who could apply that? So then I've got a pain. I'm dying of hunger. Oh, it's just happening. Oh, there's a bus coming. Oh, it's just happening. There's a bus coming. I don't need to get out of the way. It's just happening. I feel really shit. It's just happening. Okay, good luck with that then. See, you might get 15 minutes with that. It's everything is just happening. So then taking it on as a concept is how it seems to play out also, you know. But like it's a sort of an interlude, a sharing about that this is just what's appearing to happen. There's just what's appearing to happen. And it's not useful at all. It's too full.
Well, it's very useful if you want to get out of the way.
Right. Okay.
Because that's what I think is the human condition very often, is getting in the way.
Okay. And that's what you were saying anyways. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's very useful for that.
Right.
I'm a little bit confused now, though, Frank, because you said that you can't apply this idea to life in general. Well, I understand that you.
But it seems like when what's been all that's been suggested is that there's just wholly what is. There isn't you and what is. There's just what is. Right. That's a suggestion that can't be known. Right.
You could.
That's the suggestion. Now.
You can apply that to everything, though, couldn't you?
Okay. Okay. So if what appears to happen with this suggestion is that it can be taken on as a concept and to try and make sense of this then. Okay. And if that's what is happening, that's what's happening. This is not a suggestion that there's no prescription here. There's nothing being described. There's nothing really on offer. There's just the description that this is just happening. Life is just happening. However, it is. That's all. That's all. See, yeah. It's impossible. Sorry, Dan, if you want to ask a question, do you want to just go for it? Because there's no getting near the mark. So if you wanted like to ask something, go for it. I don't know if you want to ask that. It's easier, but the question is, do you ever have a sense of self, Frank? Serious question. I don't even have the sound of this voice.
So I assume the answer is no, you don't ever have a sense of the self.
You see, from the perspective there is a sense of self that's a real thing. That's knowable, havable, understandable, and talk aboutable, right? That's what's happening there. From this perspective, that's not even a perspective. There's just there's just a voice talking, saying that there's just a voice talking. So it's you who knows about sense of self. It's you who knows about liberation, ego, whatever else. You have all that. You have all that. I don't have anything, and somehow that's all that's left. Then what's left? Whatever appears to happen, whatever appears to be being said, thought, felt, described, whatever.
Yeah, I'll just respond. The message is very appealing, and the only difference is I've never really tried it. So I think possibly the next thing is to try this. Absence of self. Just
okay. Well, good. Okay, if that's what's been understood from what's come out of this mouth, then that's fucking absolutely wonderful. Good luck with that. But that's not at all what's being suggested here at all. At all, at all, at all, at all, at all. At all, at all, at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. No, not at all. Like, so good luck with that, though. If that's how it's been interpreted, then that's how it's been interpreted. All that's been said, all that was said and suggested at the very start is that there's just painstakingly, intimately, inescapably what is and what's appearing to happen. So on that wonderful note, thank you all. And yeah. All right. So many thanks, Frank, again. And it's all as clear as mud. Brilliant. Great. Isn't it wonderful? Nothing needs to be understood. Nothing needs to be taken away. But all right, take it easy. See you. Bye-bye.